and others are chosen by these incarnations under whose direction they conduct the universe affairs.
At the end of every 4 yugas, the great saintly persons, upon seeing that the eternal occupational duties of mankind have been misused, re-establish the principles of religion.
Therefore, O King, the Manus, being fully engaged according to the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, directly re-establish the principles of occupational duty in its full 4 parts.
To enjoy the results of sacrifices, yagyas, the rulers of the world, namely the sons and grandsons of Manu, discharge the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead until the end of Manu's reign. The demigods also share the results of these sacrifices.
Indra, king of heaven, receiving benedictions from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus enjoying highly developed opulences, maintains the living entities all over the 3 worlds by pouring sufficient rain on all the planets.
In every yuga, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, assumes the form of siddhas such as Sanaka to preach transcendental knowledge. He assumes the form of great saintly persons such as Yajnavalkya to teach the way of karma, and he assumes the form of great yogis such as Dattatreya to teach the system of mystic yoga.
Haribo.
In the form of Prajapati Marichi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead creates progeny. Becoming the king, he kills the thieves and rogues, and in the form of time, he annihilates everything. All the different qualities of material existence should be understood to be qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
People in general are bewildered by the illusory energy, and therefore they try to find the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through various types of research and philosophical speculation. Nonetheless, they are unable to see the Supreme Lord.
In one kalpa, or one day of Brahma, there take place the many changes called vikalpas. O king, all of these have been previously described to you by me. Learned scholars who know the past, present, and future have ascertained that in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus.
Okay, thank you. Short chapter. We're going to go back to text 4. Chatuyugante kalena Grastan churita gananyata Tapasrasyo pasyan Yato dharma sanatanaha Chatuyugante kalena Grastan charita gananjata Tapasya rasyo pasyan Yato dharma sanatanaha. Please repeat. Latuyagante kalena Pasya pasya Yato dharma sanatanaha. Let's read Let's read the word for word. Sorry. Chatur yuge anante. That's all together. At the end of every 4 yugas, Satya, Dwapara, Trita, Kali, Kalena, in due course of time, Kastan, lost, Shruti Ganam, the Vedic instructions, Ta, as, Tapasya, austerity, Vashaya, great saintly persons, Pashan, seen misuse, Yataha, where from, Dharmaha, occupational duties, Sanataha, eternal. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. At the end of every 4 yugas, Jai Shri Radha Chenji Ki, Shri Radha Govinda Chota Radha Chenji, Lord Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi, Shri Gauranitai Ki. At the end of every 4 yugas, the great saintly persons, upon seeing that the eternal occupational duties of mankind have become misused, reestablish the principles of religion. Please repeat, at the end of every 4 yugas, the great saintly persons, upon seeing that the eternal occupational duties of mankind have been misused, reestablish the principles of religion. Purport. In this verse, the words Dharma and Sanatana are very important. Sanatan means eternal, and Dharma means occupational duties. So from Satya Yuga to Kali Yuga, the principles of religion and occupational duty gradually deteriorate. In Satya Yuga, the religious principles are observed in full without deviation. In Treta Yuga, however, these principles are somewhat neglected, and only 3/4 of the religious duties continue. In Dwapara Yuga, only half of the religious principles continue. And in Kali Yuga, only 1/4 of the religious principles, which gradually disappear. At the end of Kali Yuga, the principles of religion, or the occupational duties of humanity, are almost lost. Indeed, in this Kali Yuga, we have passed through only 5,000 years, yet the decline of Sanatan Dharma is very prominent. The duty of saintly persons, therefore, is to take up seriously the cause of Sanatan Dharma and try to reestablish it for the benefit of the entire human society. The Krishna consciousness movement has been started according to this principle. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 3, Text 51, Kaler dosha nidhi rajan astihi eko mahan guna kirtanad eva krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vrajet. The entire Kali Yuga is full of faults. It is also like an unlimited ocean of faults. It is like an unlimited ocean of faults. By the Krishna consciousness movement, but the Krishna consciousness movement is very authorized. Therefore, following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who 500 years ago inaugurated the movement of Sankirtan, Krishna Kirtan, we are trying to introduce this movement according to superior orders all over the world. Now, if the inaugurators of this movement strictly follow the regulator principles and spread this movement for the benefit of all human society, they will certainly usher in a new way of life by reestablishing Sanatan Dharma, the eternal occupational duties of humanity. The eternal occupational duty of the human being is to serve Krishna. Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. This is the purport of Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan means nitya or eternal, and Krishna Das means servant of Krishna. The eternal occupational duty of the human being is to serve Krishna. This is the sum and substance of the Krishna consciousness movement. Om Gana Timranda Shah Janan Janan Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Shapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Daranti Sva Varanti Kam Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripasinivsevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Well, thanks everybody for being here. Srimad Bhagavatam class, the spotless Purana. We assemble and we hear Bhagavatam together, and it's even more potent than if you just read it for yourself, right? So let's discuss, and so please freely discuss, ask questions, make comments as you wish. What an amazing purport. This is about the third time I've read it, and it just started to explode. There's so much in Prabhupada's purports in the Bhagavatam. They're so pregnant with so much meaning. And at first you see the title of this chapter, right? And the last chapter we did, it's like Manus, and there's so much time factor is discussed. And there's 14 Manus, and who they are is predicted, their names, who's the Indra, who are the sages of that time. It's very interesting, isn't it? And but it sounds a little dry at first, doesn't it? But then as you're reading it, it's never dry. It's never unimportant. There isn't any part of the Bhagavatam that's less important or more important than any other. They're all equally full of Krishna conscious meaning and excitement, right? Is anybody excited when they read the Bhagavatam? Yeah, it's exciting to read it, and to read Gita, and to read Sri Ishopanishad, and to read Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada's, and if you read them together with somebody and you discuss it, it's just like, it's just explosive. It's wonderful what these things mean to us. Now, everyone in this room is special because you've decided that you want to live your life according to religious principles of the Hare Krishna movement, right? You're curious. You're intensely desirous of understanding who? Krishna. Yeah. I was, during Darshan today, I was thinking how, in the Swing Festival, I was thinking how all over the creation, every universe, millions of people, trillions and trillions of souls, they all want to know who is God, right? And only a fraction, small fraction, actually hear about Krishna. But even when you hear about Krishna, not everyone gets to see him all the time. Like in Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna's doing something with somebody else and he's doing something. So when they get to see Krishna, everybody flips out because he's so beautiful, right? Like when he comes out of Vrindavan, he goes to Mathura, the ladies get on top of the buildings, the men everyone's flipped out. We're finally going to see Krishna, right? It's a rare sight. And when they see Krishna, and the gopis are like this, they can't get enough, right? They drink in Krishna's beauty and his splendor of his beautiful face and qualities and name, pastimes, forms. It's all there when you see Krishna. And it dawned on me today, we can stand here and look at Krishna as long as we want, right? The gopis can't do that. The gopas can't do that. The cowherd boys are just pining away for Krishna. You know what happens after they take Krishna home? After cowherding and Krishna's taken to Nanda and Yashoda, and he's going to have dinner and take a bath and go to bed. The cowherd boys drop Krishna off, right, at home. And they go home and they cry themselves to sleep. That's how much they miss Krishna. They cry themselves to sleep, waiting for the morning when they will see Krishna again. So we're so fortunate. We have the deity form of Krishna to focus our love and attention on. And we can stand here and look at him as long as this curtain is open, right? All day long. And if you're a pujari, right, you get second initiation, you get trained up, you can go on the altar and look right in Krishna's face, Kalachandji's face, as you're dressing him, right? And Radha Kalachandji and the other deities, you can be right, you can touch their forms. It's just amazing. So this is real mercy, right? This is real knowledge. This is real Sanatan Dharma, what Srila Prabhupada is talking about. And what we're experiencing and we're seeing is reality. It's spiritual reality. It's not the reality of the outside world, right? Where the competition is to have people serve us, right? Give me money, serve me, give me riches, then I can buy all things I want. People will serve me and adore me. If I get fame, I'll be famous. People want to be famous, right? What happens when people get famous in this world? They hate it. They hate it by and large. You know, Elvis Presley was so famous. He had to rent a whole amusement park just so he could go there with his daughter and kick everybody else out. It's not fun being famous. But who's the most famous? Krishna, right? He can handle it, right? It's not hard for Krishna. Krishna doesn't go, I don't want to be famous. I can't even go outside. You know, Krishna goes outside, everyone sees him. He can interact. His energies are so amazing. Everyone can adore him, and Krishna can accept it and give it back at the same time. And so we're all here because we've felt this. We've felt something deeper. We felt, okay, I've not ever experienced anything more amazing than the Krishna consciousness movement, right? We came here, we see the deities, we met devotees, they're really nice, we love the philosophy, read the books, and then what really seals the deal? Prasadam, right? And Krishna says, no meat, fish, or eggs, no gambling, no intoxication, no intercourse outside marriage. Wow! Give all that up? Yeah, but what do you get in return? You get prasadam. Krishna prasadam. And there's nothing else like it in the world. The demigods wish they could be here and honor Radha Kalachandji's Mahaprasadam, right? So this is Sanatan Dharma. This is what we're after. And this is why we're reading about the system of universal management. If there's no management, can all this happen? No. If Prabhupada didn't come and set up the GBC and set up a system of temple presidents and set up a way to run the temple and instructed the devotees, here's how you run a temple, we don't have this. How is it maintained? It's been so many years since Prabhupada was here, you know, and it's been maintained and it's grown and it's expanded and more devotees come. And sometimes devotees move away and they come back, but that's okay. Some devotees live here and they commit their life. We buy properties here, we raise our families here, and we've committed our life and soul to the service of the temple. And that's not a small thing. I've noticed really the persons that get to move to Radha Kalachandji Dham and stay here are the ones that really make a commitment to the temple. They want to dedicate their life to Radha Kalachandji, to Krishna. Now, their Istadeha may be something, other deities they love, but it's special. Dallas is so special. So this is how we reestablish Sanatan Dharma, right? This is the one little outpost in Dallas. And we've got other outposts, right? We're opening, we're trying to expand. And Prabhupada points out in the purport that the principles of religion are almost lost, right? In Treta Yuga, in Satya Yuga, the four are all there. Then in Treta Yuga, only 3. In Dwapara, only 2. Kali, what's the last one left? Truthfulness, right. So truthfulness is the only one. And is that teetering or what? We hear our leaders, so-called leaders of the world, and they just tell this isn't true. They just lie, right? They're trying to make illusion into reality. And it's just completely craziness. But that's to be expected, right? Because we're in Kali Yuga. Let's not be surprised that we have terrible leaders. Let's not be overwhelmed, right? And be depressed or sad. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it's going to be so bad. No, it's not. I mean, it is going to be bad, and we feel sorry for a lot of the people that are going to suffer. But what is Krishna going to do for the devotees? Protect them. Care for them. How did we all get here? How many years have we had on the planet? I've had a lot of years. I'm an older one here, Misha. Who took care of you all these years? Prabhupada, Krishna, the movement. This is Prabhupada's movement. Prabhupada said it's his body. It's his body. Wow. And his body, Prabhupada understood that everything was Krishna's property. And Krishna takes care of everything. Like if we own something, we have to take care of it, right? Or it falls apart, we lose it. If you have a car, or put in oil, gas, maintenance, battery, tires, or it will fall apart. The same is true of our relationship with each other, with the world, with God. We have to maintain it. It's a duty to maintain what we have been given. Krishna is perfect at it, right? Krishna can maintain everything with not even a fraction, tiny fraction of his power. He maintains all the material worlds, right? How can Krishna create the material world but not be material? Do you know? How can he create the material world but not be material? How can he be separated from it? Well, he created it, right? If he's a creator, like, I had a daughter. I have a daughter. We created her, right? My wife and I. Is that she not part of me? I'm part of her? No. Krishna, Chinta Beta Beta Tattva. Krishna can be simultaneously one and different. And he creates the material world, but he's never contaminated by it, right? So what are the three energies? Material. What's the other one? The other two. Spiritual energy, right? And what's between the two? Marginal. What are we? We're the marginal energy, right? Why? Because we're part spirit and part material. Our bodies are material, but our soul's inside our heart, and that's what we really are, right? We're spirit souls. And as spirit souls, we're never going to be happy in this material world unless we're serving Krishna. And how do we serve Krishna? We serve the spiritual master. We have to serve under the order of the spiritual master. We have to have the instructions of the guru to even know what to do, right? But when you come here, it looks really good because everybody's working under the authority of the spiritual master. It's been established and it's working. And so it's attractive, right? We come here, we say it, I want to join. I want to do this. So it's very important to understand the system of universal management is there, and a system of management of Sanatana Dharma being established in the material world is here in the material world. And that system of management is ISKCON, right? It's Sanatana Dharma. It's Prabhupada's movement trying to overcome this Kali Yuga, which is just full of faults, nothing but faults. Kali Yuga is an unlimited ocean of faults, but the Krishna consciousness movement is very authorized. Therefore, we must follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who 500 years ago inaugurated the Sankirtan movement. And interesting, Prabhupada calls it Krishna Kirtan. He calls the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Krishna Kirtan. Because that's what we're about, right? We chant and dance and to Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Prabhupada says if we strictly follow his instructions, we follow the regular principles, we can spread this movement for our own benefit. Prabhupada says for the benefit of human society. We all have a desire to help others, right? We're not just selfish. We just want everything for ourselves. We want to help human society. Do we build hospitals? No. Prabhupada said it's like blowing on a boil, right? Yes. We do build hospitals for the devotees and for persons that want Krishna conscious treatment, right? Once they get a little knowledge. But most people in the world, they don't have any of this knowledge. So we're like in a war situation. We're trying to battle Maya and battle Maya in the hearts of other people and give them Krishna, even though they don't know they want it yet, right? Even though they don't want it, even though they hear about it, they don't. Well, just read a little. Just check this out. Well, I see you guys are really happy dancing in the street. I taste this food. There's something special about it, right? They come to the restaurant. They know this isn't just ordinary vegetarian food. They can tell there's something special about it. That's Sanatana Dharma. We're introducing these things to the world at large. And the more that we follow strictly ourselves, our own efforts, and we make an effort to give this to others, the better everything will be. The eternal occupational duty. Isn't that a beautiful thing to hear? Eternal occupational duty. Isn't that something you always wanted to know all your life? It's like, what am I doing here? What am I supposed to be here for? You know, you're a kid, you go to school, so you're miserable, right? Your parents always tell you what to do, they're dragging you around. You're trying to have fun, but you really don't have much fun. You can never do what you really want. And you're like, well, what is the point of all this? You go to high school, it's a miserable experience. You go to college, you get a job, misery, difficulties, with just a little tiny bit of what we think is enjoyment was really just an absence of suffering, right? So Prabhupada tells us the eternal occupational duty of the human being is to serve Krishna. Wow. I wanted to know that for a long time. What am I supposed to be doing here? And you get a hint because you're raised with some religion when you're little. You grow up and, oh, I like religion. I was raised a Christian. I love Jesus. Could serve Jesus, worship Jesus. Jesus God thing, they don't really understand it. Is Jesus God? Some think he is, some say. But anyway, it's okay. Because why? Because Krishna accepts all of that as worship of him, right? So it's okay. Demigod worship. Is demigod worship okay? We don't do it. But if someone else is doing it, what do we say to them? Say, well, Krishna worship is better. But guess what? If you're really attached to it, keep doing it. Why? Because it's better than if they don't do anything. At least they accept an authority. At least they accept a higher principle. And eventually, they will get the mercy to understand, oh, the demigods worship Krishna? Oh, Lord Shiva says, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Mudhamate. Wow, okay. So it really is a wonderful system. It's working. I don't want to take up too much more time. But it's so enlivening to read. Okay, it's our eternal occupational duty. I mean, what does that mean? It means that if we're really a spirit soul and we're eternal, what does our soul do? Does it get wings and it flies around heaven? Yeah. And hovers around and sort of serves God in some mundane way, come back to the planets and battle ghosts, right? And all these things they have in Hollywood. Is that what the soul's going to do, right? No. Prabhupada said angels don't have wings. He says the only one that has wings is Garuda. Prabhupada said the only one with wings is Garuda. So, this angel business is maybe heavenly planets. I don't know what happens there. But as a function, as a deep understanding of what we are as spirit soul, we should understand that we have an occupational duty as a spirit soul to act according to our spiritual nature and not act according to our material sense enjoyment desires. Goodness, passion, and ignorance, the three modes of material nature. Guess what? They're actually doing everything. We're not even doing it. We think we're the doer, but it's just our body doing something in one of these three modes, goodness, passion, or ignorance. And it drives us insane. Our soul's sitting there. It's like on a mad roller coaster ride. It can't get off. And you can't. You can't get off, right? Samsara, the samsara, the wheel. Birth, old age, disease, and death. Following Sanatana Dharma, chanting Hare Krishna, reading these books, associating with devotees, that breaks, gets us out of samsara, gets us out of the material world. And so this eternal Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, means servant of Krishna. Wow. That's a huge area, right? What are the ways we serve Krishna in the spiritual world? Look in the paintings. You can see it. All of the different relationships that Krishna has with the souls, the Nitya Siddhas. The souls in the material world that Krishna, they never fall down, right? They may come to the earth planet and be part of Krishna's pastimes. His Boma Lila, right? His Boma Vrindavan, right? Krishna brings whole of Vrindavan comes down when Krishna comes with Radharani and everything. Because Krishna's never alone. Krishna is never alone. He's always associating with his loving energies, who are us. I'm an eternal associate of Krishna. Did you know you were an eternal associate of Krishna? Are you getting a little name badge you could wear? Eternal associate of Krishna. We should get the kids' t-shirts. We are eternal associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's true, we are. So let's end there. Do we have any comments or questions? Yeah. Energy of God. I am the energy of God. Someone goes up, how can you say that? You're saying you're the energy of God? Are you trying to say you're God? No, I'm the energy of God. God has many energies, and guess what? You're an energy too. I am? Yeah. Do you want to do things according to what your spiritual nature is? How do I do that? Chanting, feasting, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam. Oh, and just come see. You can look right at Krishna. You can look right in his face. We got 5 Krishnas on the altar. There's 5. Lord Radha Lord Kalachandji, Lord Chota Radha Kalachandji, Lord Govinda, Lord Jagannath, and Lord Chaitanya. Because Lord Chaitanya is Krishna in the mood of Radharani. Yeah. There's mysteries here. There's relationships. There's energies. And it's all fascinating. And it's all described, right? In the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, for us to read about and get excited about the knowledge. And it's not just knowledge, right, for knowledge's sake, but when you get knowledge, what comes with with spiritual knowledge? The desire to do devotional service. That's the important part. We're studying this to inspire us to do devotional service. So that should be the result of your study, of coming to class, of being at the temple. You want to do service, right? And the number one service is chanting. Because what happens when you chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna? It's going right in the ears, and you're hearing Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Purifying your consciousness, purifying everything. So, all right. Natara Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Oh, wait, comment. Question. Do we have a microphone?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice class. So this question's a little bit tough in a sense. It could be tough, but I really want to purport it with that it's a desire, my curiosity and a desire to abolish my doubts. So when I was listening to this purport, I was hearing about Sanatana Dharma, and I was thinking about how, we're told that the Sankirtan movement is supposed to bring about 10,000 years of a golden age. And so sometimes I hear people say, well, you don't know how bad it would be without the Sankirtan movement and stuff. And I appreciate that. Like you can taste that. You can see how much Srila Prabhupada's books is touched cultures around. I mean, if you're driving from Houston, there's a sign that says spiritual food served here. And it says church, and it's a church.
Wow.
You know, they got this from Srila Prabhupada. But there's a difference between slowing things down and making it a little bit better, or polishing iron, than gold. And I don't see the Sankirtan, I don't see a golden age right now. And so I'm curious, like how can we understand that the Sankirtan movement, it's been predicted that there's going to be a 10,000 year of golden age, and it just, I don't know, maybe I'm just not seeing things right.
Wow, that's a great question. I like your analogy, your comparison, and bringing up the bell metal to gold, right? This is an alchemical process where we change our material natures, just regular iron, and it's turned into gold, the gold of pure Krishna consciousness, right? Spirit, understanding we're spirit souls. I think what struck me when you asked the question, what the first thing that popped in my mind as an answer was, we can't be too attached to the results. At the same time, we should be getting results. We can't sit there and say, well, I'm not attached to the results and no one's coming and the temples are falling apart. Say, no, we have to be, and Prabhupada stated this, I believe, that if you are trying to distribute books, you're chanting Hare Krishna in the streets, you're going out, you're presenting prasada, you're offering prasadam, you should get results. Now, we're doing that, but when you're a diamond seller, right? When you're selling the rarest gemstones, like the rarest gemstones are emeralds, right? I think pretty much, and if they're beautiful gemstones, they're exceptionally expensive. Who can afford such a thing? Now this is just an example. You go to the gem dealer, well, very few people are going to come to that gem dealer because of how expensive it is. What's the expense of becoming a pure devotee? It's a lot. You're going to give up all your material desires. Really? Yes. But it's going to be easy if you start the process now. And the younger you start, the better, the easier it'll be, right? So there's a special relationship between our attempting to be pure devotees, practicing Krishna consciousness, trying to develop Sanatana Dharma, spirituality, and the effect that it has on the world. I don't know how it works. It's Krishna's mystery, right? Why isn't Kali Yuga better, or becoming better because we're in the golden age of Lord Chaitanya? And you alluded to the one thing that some people say, well, it could be worse, right? It could be a lot worse. And that's true, but it's also not, it sounded to me like that wasn't a satisfying answer. And it's not, because you want to go deeper and say, and I think the reason we asked the question the way you did, you turn it on its head and say, well, what it really means is we need to do more, right? We can look at it that way, and what does doing more mean? Should we get elected to the state house or the presidency and become, world leaders? No, they're not going to go for that. That's going to take time. That might help. But what we need to do is okay, start with myself. That's the way I look at it. I got to start with myself and be a better person, devotee, sadhaka, all of those things. And then when we can get better organized, and we're always trying to organize. Our movement's never unorganized, but the leaders of our movement are always racking their brains and meeting and talking. How can we make it better, right? Mother Prabhupada Priya can tell us that, right? How often does the GBC meet? They're going to meet in Houston in September, right? They're always talking. They're always meeting. And of course, the nature of human society, mostly they're putting out fires, right? They're dealing with problems. But they're also, in an affirmative way, saying, how can we make it better? As to the mystery of, Kali Yuga, it's really frightening to think how bad it will become, right? And so it's not quite that bad yet, although maybe it's going to get worse during this 5,000 year period. So that's what draws people to Krishna consciousness. Because we're losing bees. Bees are dying. Bees are the number one pollinator for the whole world. And if the bees are raised in huge colonies of millions of bees, and the beekeepers will go to places where they're hired by the farmers, and the bees will go out and pollinate the whole area. And beekeepers are losing 30-40% of their hives now. They used to lose 2 or 3%, and they flipped out over that. So the signs are there, right? It's going to get worse, and it may get really, really bad while we're here. But what can happen in cycles, right? 20 years bad, 20 years good, 200 years bad? I mean, we're talking about another, 420,000 years? Another 10,000 years of Lord Chaitanya's golden age. So, Prabhupada said, maybe don't be so concerned about how it's going to happen. Just do it, and the question will be, who's going to take credit for it? Because Prabhupada said, it's going to happen. This movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to spread. The golden age is going to happen. It's impossible for it not to. Srila Prabhupada said the only issue is who's going to get credit for spreading it. But I don't know how that I hope that was a good answer. I don't know.
I really do appreciate the answer, because I was thinking that one thing I got from what you're saying is if I look externally, I can get frustrated. But if I look internally of what Srila Prabhupada is doing with my life, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. I've got gold, that's for sure. You know, I look around the place that I'm living, my friends, the food that we're eating. Oh my gosh, we're so lucky. So I appreciated that point of, on an individual level, I am living in a golden age. I've got to be appreciative of Srila Prabhupada for that. So thank you.
That's a great conclusion. Thank you. I didn't get that from it. Thanks. It's about internal, isn't it? It's in our internal understanding and dealing with the external and not letting the external overwhelm us. Any others? Questions? Comment? Prabhu? No. It's getting late. Prashadam is calling. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Please forgive any offenses, anything I stated. Nataraya Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Savior of the whole world, Srila Prabhupada ki. Devotees, assembled devotees ki. Despite being given that name, I'm still trying to understand and live up to it. So Krishna reminds me, yeah, your name's Dharma. You should try a little harder to understand this. Thank you. Six Krishnas? Who's the sixth one? Oh wait, I count. Let's count them. Oh yeah. Chota Govinda, Chotarada. You're right.